Happy Tuesday, everybody. It's Araya, also known as Tana, coming to you live like I do every Tuesday here in For the Love of Dragons. And boy, we've got a lot, big week, big week going on in the world. Pretty exciting stuff moving forward. I've got a lot going on here with the lair, the Dragon Hearts, the new products coming in, new courses coming online, and so much to share with you guys. But let's start today because I'm here to give you tools and answer your questions. So those of you that haven't met me before or haven't listened to me before, this is a place where I answer your questions, where you can email me something, message me something, comment on a video with something that you're wanting to know about with the dragons in working with them. How do I work with them? What does that mean? I've seen this posted. Is that possible? So when you can send me that, and maybe on one of these days I'll do another Ask a Dragon one question, because that's been one of my favorite lives over the years of literally letting you guys post in and give, if you could ask a dragon just one question, what would it be? Because that's essentially how I can give you an answer, whether it's myself as dragon or tuning into the larger realm of dragons and asking who wants to answer that. So let's dive in with that concept. There's two things we're going to discuss today. One is about dragons and dinosaurs, and that is based on a post that I made last week of a new skeleton they had found, or a new remains, fossilized remains, that they have considered a new dinosaur discovery. And to me and many in the group, it looks more like a dragon. And I have been feeling for a long time that the dragons are going to start unearthing. That, you know, we can see them in the land. We've been working with them. There are others around the globe that recognize larger dragons in the land, much like I'm able to do. And for us, they're real. We know it. We can feel them energetically. We can see them. But I really feel like science is going to start unearthing, much like this share that I posted last week, the actual skeletons or fossilized remains, so that there is actual proof. Because the truth is coming to the light of day right now. We are in a process of really letting the truth bubble up from the core and reveal to us across every aspect of life, right? So it feels really in upheaval right now. Feels like what's going on, and between now and mid-December it is going to be literally a bubbling up of more and more and more truth, which to me is super exciting. It's what we've been waiting for and working for a long time in the energetic community and the spiritual community, and those that are of mind to understand the fifth dimension and moving forward into that. So it's exciting to see the rest of the world waking up, popping open, coming on board, coming online, having spiritual awakenings that sort of rattle and shake them. And I feel like that's going to be very prevalent as well right now. So be very present with your families, especially across the holidays. Watching them closely, and your close friends, for those moments where you see them popping open and they're feeling lost, dazed, confused, not really sure why this bigger picture is revealing and what to do with it. So let's start in on that with my take, and it was Samantha Faye's comment on last week's post about this. But I said, well, why don't we discuss this again? Because I have covered it before, but not everybody always gets to go back, and especially if there's new members, and revisit that aspect of videos that I've talked about before, maybe months ago, maybe a year or two ago. So with dragons and dinosaurs, the one thing I do see in common between them is that they are more similar to the avian lineage, that of the birds, than that of reptilian. So if you look at bone structure, and this isn't me saying, this is science. I remember seeing proof of it with the Natural History Museum that came to our Kids Discovery Museum here in Nevada with a T-Rex named Sue. Her whole exhibit came all the way from the South Dakota and the Natural History Museum in Washington, D.C. And so this big display talked about how the dinosaurs were actually hollow boned, that a lot of them probably had feathers, that the bird structure, the aspect of walking on two legs for many of them, they've got a lot more scientific proof that they are more directly related to the avian species. And for me, that immediately triggered all kinds of bells and whistles about the dragons, because I've known they're not reptilian. I've known that they are lighter framed. I always work with them energetically, but knowing and remembering that aspect of dragon, which is what we're going to talk about next, and their flight pattern, their wings, their bone structure, how they, or what they ingest or how they digest it. There's just so many pieces out there, and it makes sense. And when it makes sense, it feels right in the body, and you can just align to that and know. So I don't think the dragons and the dinosaurs, other than being from the original upper tree branches of the avian species, and I'm not a scientist, so I don't know all of the phylum and all those different delineations, but in looking at a family tree, like I would with language, because that was my gift, is the drop downs. So they have an upper lineage of this commonality, but then they're very distinct separate branches, because the dinosaurs did not have an ability to ingest or create fire. They didn't, many of them have the ability to fly, whereas all the dragons can, whether they have wings or not. So understanding that about dragons, that even the serpentine ones that don't have wings can actually propel themselves through any matter, any medium, whether it's water, earth, air, that they have a way to propel themselves. So in that sense, they're very different of those sub-branchings. And I think there's going to be more and more discovered. I'm going to stick with that there's going to be more things unearthed as we continue to move forward in time. So the other piece with that is understanding, because I do work with them energetically and have memory, that there's a lot of question often about, well, I'm feeling these dragons around me, I feel them working with me, and what does that mean? You know, are they my guides? Are they these energetic beings that are just presenting as dragon? Are they, you know, is that me? How it feels like my heart just lights up when I feel the potential of that, and I don't even know if that's possible, because here I am in this human body. And so what I have long talked about and shared, and I go in much more detail in different, like in the book club, we talk about this a little bit more deeply, but the aspect of being a dragon is what I consider your first and foremost soul incarnation actually having been dragon. That the soul originates in a form, be it in the star systems, be it in a human form, be it in a water creature, whale, dolphin, mermaid, any of those. I would even lend that to beyond the sea creatures, the magical creatures, so from Middle Earth. So wherever your first and foremost soul incarnation is, that's what I experience as your soul signature and oversoul. That is the core of you as your truest self and being, what some people call your true self, your higher self, your soul monad, your oversoul. It's the core. It's the original first essence. And for me, when I finally understood that to be dragon, it really helped me reconcile within myself everything that I'd felt, the shape-shifting and body morphing that I was experiencing, what I was experiencing, being able to connect with and talk to all of them, communicate. And it really helped me understand, too, why and how when we branch off from that and have other soul experiences, I was still very connected to having been Starbeam. That was where I was really headed in remembering early on in my journey. And it led deeper and deeper and deeper and further back. And I do feel that on our journey home to ourselves, that we are now remembering what in our linear experience would be further and further back, of going back into memories that were maybe even just before Earth, or in earlier civilizations on Earth, that we're starting to bring those back in because we're integrating them all in right now, and that you'll have more and more memory. So even if you're not sure, like, am I a dragon? Does it go further back? You'll have this body heart knowing. My signal is always, I do this when it's coming of a full body chill or body tingle when there's something happening. So if you feel that when I'm talking about this, pay attention. And the beauty of that, and we're in, we've only got one more week left of this third year in a row of my Dragon Heart program. And that whole program is meant for those that really want to connect with, merge, and become that full self, to understand the journey, how we came into human form, why we're here, to understand your gifts, reveal those, and actually merge with your dragon to get to that place where you're living fully expanded into yourself. It's been such an honor and gift to do that for the last 3 years with these this group of beings that comes together. And what's been very interesting is they each year have had a very distinct group mission that they've come together, and there's been people in each group that they just are perfectly aligned to why they're here, what the group is meant to do. And so as the group for 2281 is forming, and I do have half the spaces filled right now, and I'll talk about how you can get that application if that's triggering for you. But I'm really excited to see the group forming and what they're going to be connected with in the reconstruction process, because moving into 2021, everything moving forward over the next two years and 3 months is really going to be about reconstruction. So as we hit January, we're going to start moving forward. And so this whole group coming in, they've got a big role to play with that reconstruction. I can feel them all. There's this youthful exuberance and idea generating, and so I'm thrilled beyond words to see them diving in, to see that group coming together. And if having that aspect of you woken up fully is triggering something in your body, or you're feeling that pull towards it, I would encourage you to email me directly, araya@dragonwithin.com, so that I can get you the link to the application process, because that's the first step. It is an application interview program or process to be in the program, and then an invitation if it's the right fit for everybody. So knowing that and feeling that, I know there's others out there that need to get connected with that. And then you will start working with and be initiated with all the levels of dragons. They will all come, even the ones that will not serve the general public, that you will remember more and more of yourself. So this aspect of being a dragon is, for me, the greatest homecoming. That was part of my journey that really I was avoiding for a long time. You'll feel resistance to it because there's woundings within the dragon self, within your highest self, that all your soul incarnations are about helping you have lessons to move through that. And when you finally do, and it really was, even though I wrote the book back in the fall of 2007 and published it in 2008, that it's come full circle. And it was not until just before I started the first Dragon Heart program in 2018, so late 2017, beginning of 2018, when the final piece broke free for me. Because I was working with someone who wasn't a dragon, wasn't directly to that, but she had a connection to me that could help pull that out of me and help me see where it was the shackles. It was the fear of being shackled again as dragon that really, really kept me from stepping fully in. But what I've seen since then, and what gives me so much joy about getting others to that piece of themselves, is the freedom that comes and the way that your life shifts into moving in a flow with the universe, with yourself, and with abundance manifestation. And I'm not just talking about like financial abundance. I'm talking about abundance in everything flowing to you that you want, desire, or need in every moment. And where you have clarity of when something's not flowing, that you can look inside and find the tools, because you've got these 8 months of tools that have been laid out of how to know, I've got this little piece showing up, it's resistance, I can go into that and I can clear it, and then it opens up the flow again. And that for me, I think, has been the biggest piece of the shift in my life, literally, that has now led to all the others that each year in the program have had their lives shift forward. Because when you say it's life-changing, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to change your residence, change your job, change your relationships. That's very material life-changing. This is about life-changing in a much bigger perspective of really understanding the world, the layers within it, the higher mechanics and principles of the universe, and how to operate within that from a perspective up here, which is where we're headed moving into the 5th dimension. So that is super exciting for me. And the other pieces that every week I like to share things, and I've got some pieces here with me. This guy is new. This is my little Pounce dragon who he's made of resin, and so he's inside for the winter. But he sits by my hearth, he sits by my fire, and I've got his big brother, who I'll share maybe another week, guarding the gifts under the tree when I move into the Christmas and gifts starting to show up under the tree. And the energy of this one I just felt really present with today. I was called to wear all purple, and this one with the purple sky, even though it is the Lapis dragon, was calling me of all the canvases. And these are all in the layer. Everything that's available there holds a very specific frequency. That's my gift to the planet in not only sharing with you guys and helping you answer and find the tools and get your questions like cleared in the head so you can move forward energetically, that all of these pieces are meant, and why I was even led to start the layer and offer amazing dragon products was to have the availability of something that called you on a heart level, that even if you look at a stuffy and you realize like, oh my gosh, of the 20 dragon stuffies there, that one is speaking to me. Why is that? There's a deeper reason. And it's either that card, if it's a gold dragon, it's calling you, it's got something to help you work through. And so the beauty is that everything comes with a transmission that is directly infused for you or for who you're giving it to hold a space of frequency in your environment to open those pieces for your movement forward on your journey. And I think that is the whole impetus of why it was started. You know, besides having beautiful things, I'm a Libra 5 times over, so having beautiful things and harmonic things in my environment really suits me. It's what my soul needs. And so wanting to bring that to everyone else of having very high frequency, very unique, special items is why that's even there. So if you're feeling the call, if you're having more questions, please email or message me. You can go to thedragonwithin.com. Everything that's available is there. There's the books, the guided meditations, there's links to the layer with all of the different products, whether they're for your home, whether for your body, it's jewelry, whether they are stuffies or other small things. There's so much there, and there's more coming. I'm beyond excited that the online course is just about ready. It's in final, like I'm possibly by Thanksgiving, if I can get all the back end of the website up, ready for its delivery. But watch for it in the next 2 weeks. It's in final module 4 being put together right now. So, woo, that's going to be exciting, because those of you who can't wait for a book club or can't do a book club in the middle of the day on a weekday. I've had so many people, but I can't do my weekends. I can't give away my weekends because of my young kids. But this is going to be that bridge. It's going to be that tool that as an online course you can listen to at your leisure. You download it all, and then you have many of the tools, not all the conversations, and not the same work with, like the book club has 6 meditations included over the 6 weeks. There is a meditation, a guided meditation that's quite powerful, included in the new program to give you a taste of what it's like to work directly with me and the dragons. So that is forthcoming, as are some other pieces. I'm feeling drawn to put a basics of meditation course together. I think that's a big need for people to figure out even how to position their body or where they go if they're meditating when they don't have a guided voice leading them in. And of course the Oracle deck. And I know a lot of people have been wondering, where is the Oracle deck? It's supposed to be here by now. I do have all the artwork, but what's interesting is every project, and this is part of coming into yourself too, has its own perfect timing. And allowing in your life, and I feel like this is relevant for people that are listening and watching on the playback today, to let the flow of perfection and divine alignment to not just your highest self, but every piece that's involved in something that you're trying to pull through. If you force it, it won't have the same frequency, it won't have the same energy. And allowing the Oracle deck, there's something about the alignment with the planets and the astrological pieces that has been, even though the artwork was able to come through, the rest of it is meant to come through, and I can see it aligning more to December and the shifts forward with the final pieces in December astrologically to then be part of the reconstruction. Because if you do it too soon, like if I had done it this spring and had it all like ready to go when the art was ready, it would have had an energy in it of a deconstruction, of a breakdown, because that's the energy of 2020. Have you felt it? Chaos, breakdown, blowing up of what's next, like really teaching us to live in the moment, like really pay attention to just right now, because you wouldn't have predicted yesterday what was going to happen today or next week. With every single week there's a different twist and turn. And it's meant to keep you on your toes. It's meant to literally keep you in surrender and trust. And so if I had brought that out in this universal energy of deconstruction, I always visualize this Jenga tower where the blocks are just being pulled out one at a time, and then it crumbles. And that's what 2020 is about. We are deconstructing this reality and our perception of it and bringing the light of day into all of it so that it can be reconstructed in the beautiful truth of divine energy and alignment and community. And that's really where the energy of the dragon deck wants to be, because it's going to be bringing those new tools and those new perceptions through the dragon energy into that. So I'm going to be letting that flow when it needs to. It feels like it's going to come through sometime December. We'll see, but I know that it's going to be perfect when it does. And the beauty is, and I know that my partner on this one is here watching, we have a real treat coming with that oracle deck that I'm just going to give a little teaser about right now, because we are matching. Every dragon has an essential oil. You know, they all have a stone, they have a symbol, there's pieces of energetic that are tied to them, and that there is literally an essential oil that matches each one, and they wouldn't be what you'd expect. They're revealing really beautifully, and so there's going to be sets available when it comes out of the oracle deck by itself or the oracle deck with all the matching essential oils. How incredible would that be for your toolbox of working with those energies? So I want to thank you all for joining me today. We are going to meet again next week, as we do every Tuesday. Can you believe it? Here in the United States, we've got Thanksgiving next week already, and just hard to believe that we are mid-November. This year has flown by, but at the same time stretched out all these weird experiences of time as we wrap it up and come full circle. That this is really intentionally focused on, we are bringing everything to a close. This circle, this cycle is completing. And as we move forward, we're going to have so much beauty expand. And I'm excited for it to end. I'm excited for us to keep moving forward, because even this continuous sort of blowing up deconstruction and revealing of truth over the next 4 to 5 weeks is part of that. Because as we get through that final scourge, it's like the last bits in the closet or the dust bunnies. When you move house and you clean everything, you're like, boom, I can leave it for the next person. We're cleaning it all out. Very exciting. So I look forward to seeing you next week. I appreciate you being here. I love my dragon family. And if you know others that are waking up to it, please invite them into the group. Or if you haven't joined in, come in, share your experiences, or read others' experiences, because it might trigger and open something for you. All right, have a wonderful week, you guys. I love you. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.